You see it from where you're sitting, it's probably 110% different. I guess we would have to walk a mile in each other's shoes at least. What size you wear? I wear 10s. Let's see if you can fit your feet in my shoes, just to see what it's like to be me. I'll be you, like straight shoes, just to see what it'd be like to feel your pain, you feel mine. Go inside each other's minds, just to see what we find. Look at shit through each other's eyes, but don't let them say you ain't beautiful. They can all get fucked, just stay true to you. So don't let them say you ain't beautiful. They can all get fucked, just stay true to you. So lately I've been hard to reach. I've been too long on my own.
Blessing now, I don't need their invitation. Ain't no way to shut me down, or to take this path of taking. And maybe I've been left out, never let this be a mistake. Yeah, they can keep their blessing now, forget me now, 'cause I was never.
Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream would never do. I'd still miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. Lying close to you. Get back, I'm would lose the race. Smoke on the water, a fire in. Give me more, shut up and sing it with me. From our security to every enemy, we're on your property, standing in a free formation. Was pulling out a ray in plastic surgery. Keep your apology, give us more detonation. Let me tell you about the sad man. Shut up and let me see your jazz hands. Remember when you were a madman, thought you was Batman, and hit the party with the gas.
Wake up! Run, rush, and put a little makeup. I discussed the fade away, the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to. Grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to. I discussed the fade away, the shake up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. Well, I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. Wake up! Grab brush and put a little makeup. I discussed the fade away. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to. Grab a brush and put a little.
Cause when I'm alone, I'm lost in these memories, living behind my own illusion. Lost all my dignity, living inside my own confusion. But I'm tired, I will always be afraid.
Don't stop, make it pop, DJ blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. No, don't stop, make it pop, DJ blow my speakers up tonight. I'ma fight till we see the sunlight. Tick tock on the clock, but the party don't stop. No. Ain't got a care in the world, but got plenty of beer. Ain't got no money in my pocket, but
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. And I will try
All my pain when it's time for me to go. I wanna go fly to paradise tonight. I wanna go ride the first thing on my mind. I need to get away, get out of this mess I made. Set me free, tropical therapy, get away. I wanna go. So dance alone to the beat of your heart. Hey, young blood, doesn't it feel like our time is running out? I'm gonna change you like a remix, then I'll raise you like a phoenix. Where it all ends, it's misery. No, I think it looked a little better on me. I'm gonna change you like a remix, then I'll raise you like a phoenix. Bring home the boys and scrap metal the tanks. Get hit, make a career. But I'm not for hire. I know that you're venom, tainting my blood with toxins and tearing me down again. Poison, burning my throat. You're noxious. Your reflection is venomous. Your reflection is venomous. It's a heavenly hell when I'm under your spell. It's a hunger on chaos. I'm losing.
Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
Make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. Yeah. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Think of the